There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but there is a right answer for your situation. And picking the wrong strategy can cost you tens of thousands of dollars or leave you stuck with nowhere to go. My name's Eric Beckers, I'm a local Ottawa realtor, and today I'm breaking down the honest truth about buying first versus selling first in Ottawa's real estate market. I'm going to share real examples of what actually happens to buyers and sellers who choose the wrong path. Let's start with the question that almost every homeowner asks me. Eric, what do most people do? Do they usually buy first or sell first? My answer, it's always the same. It depends. Because the decision has nothing to do with what your neighbor did, and it has everything to do with your timing, your budget, your risk tolerance, and the type of market that we're in today. So let's break it down in a way that will make this decision crystal clear for you. First, here's what happens when you buy first. Buying first can be an amazing strategy, but only under the right conditions. When you buy first, you get more certainty. You know exactly where you're going. You avoid temporary rentals, avoid double moves, storage costs, and this is a big one. You avoid the emotional panic of trying to find a home while your current home is already under contract. But there's a downside, and most people underestimate it. If your current home doesn't sell as quickly as you expected, you're suddenly juggling bridge financing, carrying two homes, dealing with the stress that you don't need. Now, does this happen often? Not if you price correctly, prepare correctly, not if you follow a strong listing strategy, but it can still happen, and you need to understand that before buying first. Let me give you a real example of when buying first worked beautifully. A family I worked with in Riverside South found their dream home. Perfect location, size, layout. Waiting wasn't an option. Homes like that don't show up often. So they bought first. The key? We aligned the closing dates, we prepared their home in advance, we staged it before listing, priced strategically, and their home went on the market and sold in 2 days. No stress, no overlap, no double mortgages. Buying first was the right move because we had a plan. Now here's when buying first becomes dangerous. If you have a unique property, if it's in a slower moving segment, if you need top dollar, or your home requires work before it becomes competitive, buying first becomes risky. The worst situation a homeowner can be in is owning two homes because the first one hasn't sold. And I've seen people in Ottawa lose tens of thousands of dollars because they bought first and then had to rush their sale out of panic. Not because the home wouldn't sell, but because they didn't have the right timing and they were stressed emotionally, so they couldn't take care of the right preparation, right strategy. This is why this decision matters. So now let's flip it. Here's what actually happens when you sell first. Selling first gives you certainty, financial clarity, a firm budget, no risk of double payments, and the confidence of knowing exactly what you can spend on your next home. For many people, selling first removes 90% of the stress. But there's another side to this. When you sell first, you're now on the clock. You now have a firm closing date and a ticking countdown to find a home you actually love. And when the pressure builds, people start settling. They pick a home that works, not a home that feels perfect, and they regret it 3 months later. This can be the danger of selling first, especially if you're upsizing. Now let me tell you about a client who sold first but did it the right way. It's a couple in Barrhaven. They needed to sell before buying. That was the right decision for them. So we listed their home. It sold quickly, and we negotiated a long closing date, just over 120 days. This was extra time to find the perfect place. We used that buffer strategically, toured multiple neighborhoods, we were patient, knew exactly what they wanted, and we found it. Selling first worked because we built the timeline around their goals, not the other way around. Now here's when selling first can become stressful. If you need to move fast, if you're picky, if you're moving into a low supply area, or you have very, very specific needs, selling first can put you at a disadvantage because you're competing with buyers who aren't on a deadline, and deadlines can create pressure. Pressure leads to poor decisions. This is where people end up renting temporarily or moving twice, maybe paying more because they rushed. Again, it's not because the market was bad, but because the timing was misaligned. So how do you decide? Here's the truth that no one tells you. There's no universal answer, but there is a right answer for your specific situation. Here's the framework I use with my clients. If your home will sell quickly, buying first can work beautifully. Homes that are updated, well-staged, in desirable neighborhoods, priced correctly, those homes move fast in Ottawa. If that sounds like your home, buying first may give you control. If your home needs work, maybe it's a unique layout or in a slower moving segment, now you want to sell first. You don't want surprises. You need certainty. If you're upsizing, buying first is often the safer move. Why? Because upsizing is emotional, inventory is limited, and finding the perfect house of an upsize takes time. You don't want to settle. If you're downsizing, often selling first can be a smarter move. You'll want to know exactly how much equity you're working with before choosing your next step. And if timing is tight, negotiate a longer closing. This is the step nobody uses enough. A longer closing can completely remove the stress from both buying first and selling first. Gives you flexibility, and flexibility is everything. Let me simplify this one last time. If your goal is certainty, sell first. If your goal is control, buy first. But the real magic is in structuring the timelines properly and using the right conditions. That's where most people go wrong. Buying first versus selling first isn't the real problem. The real problem is choosing without a strategy. That's what leads to stress, poor decisions, and financial mistakes. So if you're planning a move in Ottawa and you're trying to decide whether to buy first or sell first, don't guess. Don't rely on what your neighbor did, and don't make this decision alone. This is one of the most important financial choices you'll ever make, and it deserves a real, customized plan. If you want to walk through your options, your timing, your budget, and the best strategy for your goals, reach out anytime. You can visit our website at beckersrealty.ca and book your personalized move strategy consultation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.